Focus like a laser. You are a winner with all. You will trade well and be profitable and consistent.
All right, guys, give me a minute here, and we're gonna get started. How's everybody doing? All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Um, how's everybody doing so far? Let's get this party started. All right, we're about 7 minutes from the cash market open, and we're going to start with our daily analysis of price action. Then go from there into, like, you can't keep this market down. I mean, it just doesn't matter what you do, right? They're buying every dip like somebody slapped their mama. It's a V recovery right there, if you ever seen one. And that kind of behavior is going to lead to a 456.50 run up, right? So if we start breaking above that, then target number two of that sequence is going to be very important for us. So some of the levels that we're going to be paying attention to is 47 and a quarter. Obviously, Globex is a critical number, which is 312. And if we can break below 312, then we got ourselves a situation where the market can be in a reversal mode. Yeah. And those are the two things that really on the pipeline. Either you're going to break it out, or you're going to pause and reflect on that move and go back down to Globex and retest at a minimum. Nothing really holding us up there. I mean, there's not a lot of. This is all-time high territory above these levels. So it's either gonna rip up and go, or come back down and at least give us a pause and a reflection. Good morning, Safe. How are you, buddy? So that's one thing. Now let's go from there to the 100 NT Rinko. So there was a resistance zone here, an area of reflection that the market needed to kind of come back and retest, and they did. They did. Look at that. Came up to it, broke it actually, and then filtered everybody out and came back and retested the middle of the range. And typically, you see a retest of the middle of the range as a sign of strength. Then toward the end of the day, they came and sold it off a little bit more for good measure, and uh, anybody that was short in that rotation got rolled up to the upside. Target number one in the sequence is hit. If the market closes at 73 and a quarter, 73 and a quarter, that would be 100 NT Rinko reversal, and that will set the stage for something similar than to what you just saw earlier, which is a sell-off of multiple candles that take us back to the middle of the range. But here we're vulnerable because we already rolled over everybody that was short. We ran the stop right above that zone into target number 4. So that's going to be a critical level for the shorts to exert themselves and for the longs to defend. Okay, bear with me here 1 second. Good morning, Sheila. How are you? All right, so I mean, I stepped away for just a minute here, and off you go, right? So 3 minutes into the cash market open, and we're seeing market selling off here. Yeah, can you hear me, Vishal, right now? I just was away for a second. Okay, perfect. All right. So we're getting that sell-off in NQ right off the open. A very decent one, actually. Here we go. 50 NT Rinco. We're getting multiple rotations downward. You had a captain set up short in or long in NQ and ES that failed below that 95.75. Rallies back up into the 96 area where the one candle reversal is shortable. Let's take a look at Russell 2000. That's gold. Gold is oscillating around Globex. Globex is 69.6. Let's take a quick look at Russell 2000. Okay, here you go. I mean, that is a rotation lower. So the market came in here and made channel number one, channel number two on the short side, right? So channel number one, channel number two. So it's a wide channel here, but if you start trading anything above 82.1 into the 83, that zone can reverse the actual personality of the market. So as long as we are constantly coming back to the middle of the range and failing like this, then we should continue to go to target number 3, which is we're almost there at 77.9. Then an outlier event would be 71.6 and 67.4. Those are the two places that we're looking at. Gold, we talked about gold. ES, here you go. A rotation lower as well. We're going to Globex, and Globex is 85 and a quarter. Nice little drop right off the bat this morning. Let's draw the actual channels. Here we go. Channel number 1. So we're breaking channel number 1. We want to see if we can come up to the top end of that range around that 80 and actually put on channel number 2. All right, so what are we gonna do today? What's our plan here? Our plan is to make money. Or before we make money, we have to put on good trades. That's the plan. That's the plan every single day, right? So we got a couple of things here, 96.75, and I'm talking about 96.75. So let's just mark that number. All right. So if we get close to that number, we need to be considering a short. What I'm doing right now is just kind of putting the areas in which we need to be concerned with for the longs and the shorts. Yeah, here we go. So that's that. Yeah, they're putting a switch trade here, so the odds are they're going to push it up a little bit. So you can't sleep on this market. This market will zig and a zag, and it will. Looks like rectangle, triangle, rectangle. Okay, here we go. All right, we're gonna go short here, short at 91. Let's see how far they want to take this thing down. I added to it. Let's see if we get 76. Yeah, I may not get 76. Here goes 71 all the way down here. Yeah, they could give it to me. They could give it to me. They could give it to me. Well, I mean, right here, which I got greedy. I should have kind of taken some right here. Yeah, I should have taken some right there. Took two off. Took one off. I mean, they're taking him. I mean, they're putting a switch trade here would be great. Okay, what's going on here? All right, so I got 3 left. Took 2, I have 1 left. And I'm hoping to see a burst of energy lower here if they can get us down there. Such a choppy zone here, but the fact that we kind of did not sell off quickly here is an area of concern. Good morning, Joseph. Good morning. So I'm going to cancel that order to short some more. And I need to put a stop at the top of that range and just kind of give it, what is that, 96? Yeah, 96 and change. I think I'm going to get stopped out on that last contract. But I'll give it a shot and see what happened, right? ES, hey Frida, how are you? Yeah, well, let me manage this trade. Yeah, see, that's just, it took me out. So they closed the 100, put in an inception trade and closed it. Let's see what we ended up doing on this trade. I think I made a little bit of money, not much. So channel number two establishing itself in ES. So what is that telling me right here? It's telling me that right now we should be getting to target number one, which is 91 and a quarter. A break below that will get us to target number two. Two is 85 and a half. Then we will experience 85 and a quarter, which is glowback. And then target number three is 79.75. The stop on that rotation is anything above 97. And once you get one or two candles in your favor, you go break even and see if we can make a bigger move. But that's the rotation that we are in. ES is weaker than NQ, and once NQ start to fade out, in ES, you're just gonna. Here we go. I mean, what we're saying is happening, tick by tick. Target number one is happening, and we're getting a pullback here. Let's see what else is the market doing. Let's take a look at the 50 NT Rinko. The 50 NT Rinko is solid on the long side. Middle of the range is 77, so we want to see if we hold up there. Ultimately, till the market reverses, I'm not. So 72.50, 72.50. Here you go. $72.50. Here we go. What are you guys doing? Made a double top up there. Yeah, well, here you go. This is a zone right here to get involved on the long side. I'm gonna go ahead and I may have missed it. I can get in there with one and add. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take one here. I ain't gonna give me nothing. Okay, so one here, and I can get one at 77. Yeah, I'm not gonna get heavy here. Okay. Yeah, and we need, yeah, here we go, one more. Here we go. My stop is right here. It's either gonna work or it's not gonna work. I mean, it's just simple as that. I need something like 87 or so. I may not get it. I took one out. I'll take another one out, and I'm gonna go to break even here very shortly, and we're breaking even, and let it go. Let it go, baby, let it go. 91. I'm gonna go break even plus some change here, and I think I'm gonna get my 91. I'm gonna go 91.75 on that one for an exactly 10 points if they're so kind. And I'm gonna go right here just to pocket some more money. All right, so we'll take it right here. It's just not progressing, and now you're in the territory of an inception trade. So that's a good trade. Second trade of the day. Why am I just making small amount of money here though? So that's that 153 trade for 343. Yeah, just we need to hold on to them a little bit longer. So that's decision number 2. All right, so you're getting an additional push here. So what is the market doing right now? I mean, they just established channel number 1 on the short side. So that's an area and an inception trade with an entry at 87 and a quarter. So that tells me that the market is ready for a push lower here. ES is continuing its move lower toward 85 and a quarter. But they're going to fade it. They're going to pause it. They're going to play around with it. So it's not going to be like a straight line type of deal here. A retest of that channel on MQ. You start breaking above 400, that may change the picture here. Ultimately, for the shorts, you need to break that 71 and a quarter. And why do I say that? Because that's where the 100 is at. If you break the 72 and a half, then you're closing the 100 into Rinko. Then you start, looking at a potential, reversal, continuation trade on the short side. But we're not seeing that. We're seeing that they are coming very close. And I mean, they got close because okay, so I got in here. My entry should have been at 83.75, that initial one. I missed it, so I was like, okay, that's fine. They're putting a one candle reversal. I can operate here. One, and then added 1 and 1 with a stop right under that line, meaning that if the 100 into Rinko closes, then I'm no longer interested in the trade. And it worked out, and you got a retest of the 400 off of it. So ES is showing a continuation pattern, and a close of 89 will start dripping us to the 85 zone. I have to be very particular and picky here. I'm not going to just jump in any place. Channel number 2 established. So here you go. Yeah, that's a good one, actually. That's a good one. Channel number two, I like that one. I don't want to get too aggressive, trying to get short in a bullish market, but I'll do one. No, okay, so we already missed the 92 and a quarter. I need to see a little bit more price action. Maybe a run up close to the 40 and then a failure. But I'll keep my order out there just in case. And I'm gonna keep it at a minimum. I'm not gonna get cute with this market. Okay, so they're putting a captain setup long right here. So we need to be conscious of that. I mean, because that will set the stage for a break above that 400. So it's going to be critical. I mean, if they fail it here at 87 and a quarter, you're gonna get a little bit of a drift lower. So I will get a little bit heavier if we fail it. Um, Otherwise, I'm just gonna be watching this. Here we go. So they didn't fail it. So let's see what they want to do here. That's gonna be a run up. Oh yeah. No luck on that short, huh? Nope. So that's good. That's good. I mean, at least we know what they're doing, right? That's a very solid captain setup. Yeah, we're at all-time high, safe. All-time high. Well, we're about to go again. Captain setup on ES? No. No, we're not seeing that yet. I mean, we're getting a consolidation here, but we don't have that formation right there. See, look how they do it though. Look how they made it here and held on for a big rotation. They made it here, held on for a little bit. They made it here, run up a little bit. They made it here, actually short and failed it into a big run. Captain set up failure here. Captain set up long here. Captain set up long here. What else? What else? Here you go. Captain set up short for one can. So a lot of these trades you gotta take. You gotta take the one candle and go break even and see if the trade becomes anything bigger, right? Look at that. Whenever you get a captain setup switch trade, that's when things are really interesting. That's when you get the big moves. We had one yesterday, and that was a big winner for us. I'll show you. I'll show you that in a minute here. All right. So now here you go. They're fading it again. Ultimately, the shorts need to exert themselves at 72.50. Anything less than that, we're just kind of watching it. So we came. So this is the trickery here. I mean, they came coming up to the all-time high and they faded, and you see the speed in which they do this. So that tells me that the market is struggling here. And the yeah, speed. That's speed right there. That is speed. Yep, yeah, speed. We closed that 100 NT wrinkle. We need to start getting aggressive short. ES is selling off in a meaningful way. There's a big selling pressure. There's a big seller coming in. I'm just gonna get in. I'm gonna add. I'm gonna add till I blew it in the face. Here we go. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm gonna start taking profits. Thank you. Thank you. And I left one in, and I'm gonna go break even. And I'm gonna cancel these orders out there. And I want to see if I can get myself in a bigger move, if all possible. Yeah, yeah, just make me more money. Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna go break even. Okay, so I'm gonna pocket a little bit more here. We already hit target number two, and I'm gonna tighten it up a little bit further at 51 and let it be here. Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one. Okay, thank you. Well, you want to give me more? Okay, so they took it right here. That's fine. They're gonna bounce back up anyway. And in that bounce, I'm going to be getting more short here in a second. So that trade that we just did, let's see what we ended up getting. All right. So in those five contracts that we just took, we made 1,295. So we're up 16, 38, 36. So let's just keep working. So, from an overall perspective, what do you think the market just did here? Yeah, look at that. Wow. Yeah, there's something significant just happened right here. Something significant. So, what got me to be short, right? Is that behavior. I mean, we've been talking about it all morning long anyway, but it is the fact that shorts will take charge at 72 and a half. That's what they're going to do. And they sure did. Came in and then just bursted it. Now, typically, I would look for a rally back up in order to get in. But it's just one of those things that you could tell that how the speed in which they moved and the conviction in which they moved in, that this was not a market that's going to bounce back up. So I took the chance there, and I was willing to add to it if it bounces right back up. But it didn't, and we got in as close to that middle of the range as possible. That 40. Now there's going to be a significant thing that's going to. What is this? Yeah, look at that. I mean, you get to Globex and you sell under it. There's a big seller in the market. There's a big seller in the market. Yeah, they're gonna flush this bad boy. 200 NT wrinkle. I mean, I'm gonna put it out there just because something significant may be happening here. And if we close below Globex, that would be 200 NT wrinkle reversal, which is meaning that this is a complete 100 point reversal here in the market. And we may be ended up getting something similar to this or something similar to that, where the market just gives you one after the other on every rotation a short interest. So we're gonna observe that, watch it, and follow it, and see if the market is behaving in that manner. But a good short down here. We got very close to target number three in that sequence, and that target is 22 and a half. Where's target number four? And those going to be an outlier events, obviously. It's going to be 251 and a quarter, then 203.75. Let's see if we can get ourselves a rally. ES selling off in a meaningful way. Continuation trades coming in. Target number three is hit, 22 and a half. Close to it, close enough, right? Let's clean up the charts a little bit and just keep on operating. Stay working. So we almost bounced like, I mean, that's what I'm trying to show you right here. I mean, like literally we bounced to that tick on Globex. To that tick. It's amazing. They're trying to hold it. This is a very critical because now you're putting 100-point reversal in the market. You're putting a lot of things going on here if you start breaking below Globex. Hmm. All right, let me see what they're gonna do here. This needs to hold that 45. Yeah, yeah, I waited a little bit too long on that, but that's fine. We're getting a continuation pattern here. We should be oscillating around these levels at least for a little bit. I don't necessarily want to get too aggressive getting short in these levels because the parabolic nature of how price moved. Now they're gonna try to defend these. I mean, a lot of the dip buyers are coming in. There's a lot of stuff that's going on right now. All right, so let's take a look because we're gonna come up to an important area here in few. Okay, so 27. Here we go. Let's talk about that one. I don't know if we get to it. Oh, back to that 72 half. Okay, well, that's gonna take them a little bit of effort. 72 and a half, and all right. Let's see if we hold there. The odds are we're going to consolidate and push lower from here, which we are doing. We're not exhibiting any stronger behavior, but here you go. Continuation trade, channel number one established. And that channel is, look at that selling. There is conviction, guys. There is conviction in this market on the short side. Just to let you know that. This is not the kind of day where there is just a minor sell off, then they bounce it back. The way the price is behaving right now is significant. Obviously, that doesn't mean you get, oh, here we go. So on the 200 NT Rinko, we did get our reversal. And off we go. So what is that going to mean to me here? That is what's going to mean to me is I'm going to, as I navigate the rest of the day, I'm going to get aggressive in my shorts. I'm going to get aggressive in my sizing. I'm going to look for entries and ranges and look for a good chunk of money here. All right. So what's going on here? Sorry about that. Do we have news out there? Anybody that follows the news? Let's see here. Gary, you follow the news. Anything good out there as far as reason for this market to do what it's doing? Or because I'm not seeing anything that's pushing this. All right, so let me get some targeting info here. Man, I hope they just don't flush this without us being in it in a meaningful way. Hmm. Okay. Okay. So the target for all this rotation that you're seeing is 85. 85 is what we're looking at. And that'll be 285. So target number 4 is 251. Really, from a long term perspective, you're really looking at um, the 400 is as a stop to this big rotation. So anybody that gets short anywhere here, they have that 400 as a stop. And you're looking at the 85 as a target. And I think you'll see the 85. So we need to be taking these rallies as an opportunity to get short, but you have to be smart how you do it. They're playing around Globex. Here comes Globex right here, 23. I'm patient. I'm just gonna wait for a right spot. I need to see a signal. I know the pressure here is real on the short side, and I'm looking for 85 as a target. That's a switch trade right here. We should see a burst of energy lower here. Here you go. So they put a captain setup long and gave us one candle and reversed it. There's a captain setup short on the 30 NT Rinko, captain setup long that failed on the 25. So there's a whole lot of rotations happening right here in anticipation of a big move. If we break 25 and a quarter, I'm going to get short. Yeah, so there's buyers stepping in here. There's a buyers. I mean, they put a captain setup, came retested, kept the line. They're coming to the middle of the range and holding. It's weak overall, but there's buyers stepping in and dip buying right here. The 100 NT Rinco shifted to and closed. So we may get a couple of candles up, but ultimately the 400 is the ultimate decider on this rotation. So I'm pausing here, just kind of watching this market. We got to that 72, which is the neck of that prior move. So they made a good retracement so far. Good, Yanis. Good job, man. Just keep up with the good work. Yeah, those trades are paying. That captain set up on the 12. So we're getting a bit of a retracement here. So the sellers are starting to come back in. So ultimately, it's a Globex play. You got to break Globex, and if you do, then they are gonna put the hurt on a lot of people. 34 and a quarter, 34 and a quarter is where we need to be paying attention to. It looks like they're gonna flush it here. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, they got close. They're doing this trickery again. Doing trickery. So, what is our game plan here? What are we waiting on? What are we doing? We're looking for that break below 35. Why? Because that would be a conclusion of 100 into Rinko. Then what do? We're going to look for rallies as a shorting opportunity in this market against that 75. And then you're looking at a target of 24, which is Globex. That's an intermediate target. Then you're looking at a break of that whole formation into the 85, the 285. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so they're playing around that 50. All right, guys, I'm pausing here. I'm just kind of literally just watching and listening to this market and seeing, what the rhythm of what we're seeing here. I mean, when they come that close to closing the 100 and bounce right back up, that's just a strong sign right there. I mean, they need to come back in there and close that thing. Otherwise, we're going to close higher above 70. All right. I mean, unless you break that 35, we're not interested in the shorts till that happens. Or if the market breaks 70, then we're going to get a situation where they're going to run it up to the 80, 85. Then 400 is ultimately what shorts have to defend. I think they'll come in, but we'll see. I'm patient. I'm patient. ES is getting out of that rotation short into a retest of a long channel on the 12 NT Rinko. So to me, there's a price stability in both NQ and ES, but I'm not going to commit to anything right here. Here you go. You got a captain setup failure here. So we're looking for a bit of selling pressure coming in. Here we go. Now we're talking. So you have a catalyst here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Okay. So that's that. And let's see if we can get going here. Man, let's get busy. Let's get busy. So here they go. They fade it one more time. So this is the second time they play this game, right? But maybe this time they're gonna. I need to see that price break. I mean, that's just basically what it is. Well, screw it. Well, I don't want to say screw it, but because let me see here. They're putting a captain setup right here. So let's see what they want to do with that. They failed one. They came up with one right here. Again, right around that price level here. Tick count on my chart. You have multiple ones here, Vishal. You got 20 NT Rinko, so that's 20 ticks. 6 NT Rinko is 6. I got a 12 on the right here. And then I have the 100 NT Rinko as well. So that's 100 ticks. All right, so right here is critical level. 49.75 would be a switch trade. I don't think they're going to give it. Yeah, here we go. They didn't give it up. So this thing is going to tank. That's what you're going to see here in a few minutes. You're going to see low below 25. Oh, well, here you go. Good Lord. Need to just jump in. Here we go. We closed it. We closed it. Rally back up, and I'll get short. Rally back up, and I will start getting short. So that's one. Just we're gonna keep it very light. That's another one. I'm gonna keep it very tight. That's a 6-pointer. It's either gonna happen here or it's not gonna happen. Well, yeah, I want to see a little bit of that type of behavior. Yep. That's what I want to see, and that's not what I want to see. Here we go. Nope. I'm gonna keep it very tight. I don't like this captain setup. Get out of this. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna get out of this. So we lost a little bit on one and flattered the other one. Yeah, I don't like that captain setup that they put up here. Okay. I have to jump back in and not be too tight. Yeah, I'm gonna have to jump back in. Ultimately, I don't want to go above that 72 area, and that's gonna sting a little bit, but it is gonna sting. $73, yeah, 73. So I'm gonna put it at 75 and a half. That's the most I'm gonna give this thing. Of course they're gonna run it. Thank you. All right, they got us on that one. Let's keep working. So that one candle reversal was the shorts needed to kind of use it to get to glowbacks and break down, and it just did not. They did not do it. So that 73 is the high of that rotation to me. And we're gonna stop out. It was a big stop, but it's within. We're looking at it from a swing perspective here. ES is continuing its move higher. All right. So while we're watching for the next rotation in NQ, I mean the longs are taking charge here. I mean you have all the way up to that 400 for the shorts to come back and re-exert themselves, but you're about 15 points away from that. So it's either now or never. While that's happening, I'll show you crypto. I got orders sitting here. So far not a lot of, basically about 4 grand or so worth of orders just sitting, and I'll add to them when we get to these levels. So this is SHIB, and I'm looking for our 20% retracement in crypto to come through before we start buying. So I have orders at 38, 36, 31, and 28 on an extreme rundown. Then I'm gonna get more money and pile it on in that range. What I'm looking for people to panic, and we are getting close to it. So once you start seeing this number within 24 hours turning -20, things are about to get serious there. Let me see Ethereum. I mean, Ethereum and Bitcoin, I mean, they're breaking below the 60,000. So this will pick up some steam on the downside. Yeah, this is going to pick up some steam here. And 2% is not a big deal, but you may get something like that, similar like that. I mean, here they dunked it from 52 down to 42. So it's 1,000 points. So you could see that. I mean, what's 1,000 points? I mean, that's not 10,000 points. Excuse me. Well, yeah. Yeah, 10,000. Wow. So it has the capacity to do that. Same thing with Ethereum. Ethereum has a more negative tone to it. You could see it in the chart. So anything below 4,000, which we are inching closer to it. things can get a little bit hairy here. So I like crypto. I've been trading crypto fairly well this year. So, and the key to it is really buying panic dips. And this is what I'm looking at here, and this is kind of the rationale behind some of the trades that I've been taking here. I mean, that last one, bit me, but whatever. Um, One candle reversal on the 200 NT Rinko. I mean, you can't get one more candle in your favor. I mean, that's a 30-point continuation trade from closing down here at that 21. And it's just the market strong around here. I mean, we're about to break the 400. I mean, we're at 94. I can't argue with the market. I mean, I'm going to take my entries. I'm going to take my stops. I'm not going to argue with this market. But the shorts, when they exert themselves, I mean, look at that exertion here. That's 1110, right? You got that one candle reversal. You get the retest, which was the middle of the range for me, and that's where I was getting short. And my stop is actually was tighter than 400, obviously, because I got out a little bit earlier. But that's what we're looking for. We're looking for 1, 2. I mean, what did that do? Just from that entry, from 126, it's 220 points. So I'm looking to risk on that type of a trade. I'm risking, what is that? For entry, we got entry here, we're added here. So our cost 55.76. Okay, so 20 points. I'm risking 20 points for the potential of being in a trade that takes me to 100 and 200 points. That's what I'm trying to work on, at least in that trade. I mean, there's some trades that you go and do a scalp here, scalp there, and you're looking for continuation decisions and trades like that. But ultimately, I want to be in a trade where I'm making 100 points on a big chunk of contracts. And when they stop you, it's going to cost you. But it's all relative. Captain setup. So they're putting the captain setup right here. Short. And let's see what they want to do with it. I want to see if we can get a switch trade right here, which is another close at 84.75. Jesus, I thought I was talking in the mic here. Okay, so we're taking, if this candle that we are in closes lower, there'll be a captain setup switch trade. This is a very high probability short decision, and I will be looking to make initially 3 points, then go and break even, and then trail it and see if we can get down to the 70s zone. The stop on that decision is going to be 93.75. And we'll go from there. And this trade is a scalp. Now, if that tests well, then I may start getting Sure, but we need really a break below 60. So I have my order out there, and let's see. If this candle closes higher, like 95 or something like that, I will cancel my order. And here you go, I'm canceling my order. I mean, they could retest it and close lower again, but I'm not interested unless they do one of those two things. Because otherwise, they're going to just rip through that 400 very quickly. Oh wow! Yeah, why didn't I do that? 400. Take these stops. Okay, I mean they're gonna retest it like that. I mean I could give it a shot. And here we go, and put it right here at the top of that rotation. and give it one more shot here. You go two. Yeah, of course, huh? Let's see what happens here. Yeah, we may make money out of this deal here. Just need one more candle. Can we get a candle here? Let's see if I can get. It's 15. Yeah, I think that's enough. Yeah, that's not good. All right, we'll take that stop again. I think I'm gonna just pause it here a little bit and just kind of watch this market and see if we can get a bit more clarity. Obviously, the 400 is an issue. I mean, if they close this candle one more time, I'll jump right back in. ES is moving. And here comes that 400. Yep, they closed it. They closed it on that 200 into Rinko, so that just trapped a lot of people. Yeah, right. That spot where I got short, and I got heavy. I mean, it's, I risked about less than 10 points for the potential of knowing that this thing is gonna continue, but one. Yeah, look how strong that move is. It's very strong. It's fine. That is fine. All-time high. Yeah, imagine imagine trying to work out that trade being short here, thinking it's extended. And look what happens after that. I mean, this thing ran up about 40 points. So it's critical to take your stops, especially if you're putting size on. You definitely got to take your stops. So along across the board, I mean, the assessment of a continuation of that short interest that came in after that double top. I mean, they literally took it to Globex, flipped it, and then worked themselves a trap. And I mean, I'm not ashamed of saying it, but they trapped me in it. Really, really, what happened here is just that one trade. I got heavy and give it a little bit more room. And whenever you put size on, it gets you. So that zone is not necessarily anything truly. I took my stop exactly where I needed to take it. I mean, I could have taken it here, obviously, taken it at 63 and a quarter, but then captain setup and a pot, or actually a flip here. That's a good spot for a couple of candles in your favor. Just it was too strong. Market ran up. So where we at for the day? We started the day fairly decently. We're connecting. We're trading 10, 3, 5, 2. Then that one 10 contract trade kind of bit me. And the second one right after that, 15 contract, kind of bit me too. So we're down about 4 for the day. And we're just going to keep working. Need one solid trade and we will be good. Yeah, I mean, I like to say ES is short, but I mean, you're looking at this all the way to target number 3. It's a very pronounced channel. You're breaking even above it. You're at target number 3. You could always say, oh, it's extended and the market should be bouncing back, but at a minimum, I mean, when you take a look here and you see the rotations and how they kind of manifest themselves, you got a shift in the cloud, and then you're getting an attempts at the middle of the range that fails with one candle reversals, and that's a good place to really start to try the shorts. That means that you're not really participating up here, which is fine. You don't need to participate up here because they could. I mean, I've seen it, man. They would run and run and run and run. I mean, like something like that. They run, 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 keep running, and you think they're about to reverse and then run some more. And I've seen it to be even more pronounced than that. So it's always a good idea to let the market kind of settle down, and then shift the cloud, run into the middle of the range, and shift around and give you entry points. Like that's an inception trade, continuation trades, continuation trades, continuation. So there's multiple continuation trades here. Same thing here. I mean, they flipped the cloud, came back down, tested and established channel number 1. So there was signs, and I was saying, the market is stable in ES and in NQ, but I was looking at it from a bigger perspective, and that perspective is this. All right, so we're getting one candle reversal right here. I know the cloud is positive and all that nice jazz, but can we get a minimum of one candle run up? But it's just, it wasn't given it. It wasn't given it. I mean, they typically would. I mean, like here and here, they didn't give it. Here, they gave it. They gave it a lot here. So there is instances where you get continuation and multiple continuation. And we were hoping that at these levels we'd get at least one more. But market is going to do what the market wants to do. So what do we do here? I mean, this is look at the 100 NT Rinko. Now we're at target number 5. I mean, if there is any case to be made about getting short, is whenever you get between target number 4 and 5, and you get a one candle reversal, or even your first attempt at 80.75, that is your target 5. First attempt at that, you typically is fadeable. Do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they run it up like this midday, and toward the end of the day they reverse it and start trapping people on the other side of that equation. So trading is not over yet. I mean, we have a full day ahead of us here. But that's something I'm going to monitor. I'm going to monitor 80.75. I'm going to look for failure patterns. Ultimately, you really need to flip the 100, and that would be 434. All right, so I mean, you see how they came into the 80 zone almost to the tick and faded that one. I mean, we got all the way up to that 78. I mean, I'm sure that's, yeah, let's see here. That was 78 half. So they're respecting target number 5. I mean, ultimately, you got to break and close at that 35 zone, 30, exactly 35. You break that, then that gives us a pocket of short interest that we could operate through. Vishal, the targets that you're seeing up there are an algorithm that I developed, and that is not fib at all. I mean, because you could draw a fib and it would not match it up. So that algo is changes every time the market shifts. So now when we're in this rotation, we continue to hold on to these targets. If the cloud shifts, those targeting system will change along with it, and it factors in volatility along with how much volume is coming into the system or outside the system. So the targets and the distance between these targets are never the same, meaning that, for example, if the market is just in a consolidation, the targeting system will go, and the difference between, for example, entry and target number 1 will be 10 points. If there's a lot of volume coming into the system and the market exhibiting high rotational count, then the distance between the targets will increase because you have more volatility in the market. So now it's 15, 20 points. Okay, so and you have target 1 to 3, then target 4 and 5. 4 and 5 are outlier events, meaning that you're majority of the time you're between entry to target number 3, maybe halfway distance to target number 4. If you get a market that is going to target number 4 and 5, which is very strong but is extended, and typically you see most of the fading that happens on a swing trade basis happen in between target 4 and 5. So for example, if this market closes down at that 35, sells off a little bit, come back and retest between target number 4 and 5 and give me a lower high with a reversal, then that's just going to be a good entry point for a short as a fade against that target number 5. That's how I would look at it. Uh, it happens that they break target number 5 and go higher and higher. That's just a rarity versus the way they operate. And this targeting system, I mean, the reason why I developed it is I needed a very distinct way to measure my targeting. Like I needed to know where I need to put my next target and why. And it kind of came up with this method. Hopefully that answers your question. So here we go. I'm drawing an extension of a fib. I mean, because that's how you would be thinking about it. It's like, okay, maybe he got in there and put an extension of a fib extension, and then drew program these things as targets. And you could tell that they do not match because that's not the logic. It's not the logic I used at all. So that's another way to measure it as an extension. Actually, you could do this right here. So now you're seeing another look of that extension, and it's still not does not match up. I'm not saying that fibs are not. I mean, they're a good tool that I use intraday, but for the purposes of targeting, you really need to kind of think in terms of volatility. Like you're not thinking in terms of a specific price. Like a specific price is not as important as the overall volatility and energy that comes into a system. So if there's a lot of volume stepping in and then you have higher rotational count, then you need to treat that market and the targets within that market differently than if you have less energy coming into a system and low rotational count. The targets should not be the same, should not be calculated in the same way. Anyway, so that's that. Let's just focus and see. So we're getting that fade off that 70, 80 level. And we are gonna just ultimately we have to get the 100 NT Rinko to close. If they do close it, then we have something to work with. Otherwise, ooh, look at that. Okay. Yanis, what was Yanis? Oh, he left. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I guess he made money. It's a failure right there. All right, so it's 11 o'clock, and that's just basically what we're going to be doing here. I'm going to take a bit of a lunch break and give the market a little bit of time to kind of rest and most likely consolidate around these areas. And then we'll take a second look at the market toward the last hour of the day. Hadid, we're meeting today, right? Is that correct? Okay, I guess you're not. You're not. I guess he's away from his desk. All right, guys. So that's it for me. Um, we just keep doing what we're doing, and we will see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Just a reminder. I mean, as we get closer to Thanksgiving, I'm gonna be off going to Oklahoma Monday through Friday of next week. So the room is going to be closed during that time, and I'm going to be with friends and family, um, kind of enjoying Thanksgiving. We all need these type of breaks, right? So I'm kind of looking forward to it. So we'll tomorrow we'll trade regular time. Monday morning I may be open, just depending on when I leave for Thanksgiving, but just kind of count it as a Monday through Friday for now. But if that changes, I will let you guys know. Okay. See that ES is unrelenting here, which is kind of different than what you're seeing in NQ. NQ is pausing, but ES is just, I mean, boom. established that channel, came and retested it one more time, cloud shifted, you got target 1, target 2, target 3, all of them got hit. Target number 4 on ES, and that's an outlier event, but we always have to kind of throw it out there. You're looking at 47.1075. Then you got target number 5 is 47.2275. So those, Vishal, as far as going long, um, any purchase right here is chasing, because you always ask yourself what is the premium entry. The premium entry is below target number 1 on an actual signal, like an inception trade. So right here where I highlighted, that's an inception trade. So that's 77.75, and you hit target number 1, and then you win break even, and that got you stopped out on that break even. You got another attempt at the same scenario right here at 78.75, and that is for a second continuation trade, and that one is the one that is running up that much, and that's just a huge move in ES, and you don't see them do that, but obviously there's emotions in the market right now, and you're getting a little bit more of that parabolic behavior. Now, you need a pullback. I mean, you need a decent pullback. Otherwise, you're just buying at the stratosphere levels. So, for example, a scenario would be a pullback from 4,700 down to 46.89, half, and a one candle reversal, or a structure, price structure right here. Excuse me. Right here, meaning that you make a low there, you make a higher low there in that zone. Then that would be a good reason for me to start, getting in and and basically getting and looking for a couple of candles in your favor and going breaking even in that zone. That's a decent pullback for a buy. Ultimately, they need to protect the 85, and you need to be very careful in this zone as well. Why? Because it's such a parabolic move that the pullbacks are strong as well. So they may come here, and if they don't put a solid higher low, then I wouldn't mess around with it. Like I wouldn't, like if they come down here and just give you one candle reversal, that is not good enough for me to participate, because this price action is vulnerable to a correction to the 85. So in the 80, so if that fails here, the 85, you need a similar structure where you're making a higher low, and you need to protect this channel in order for all that idea to continue. So any purchases in this zone has a stop right under target number 1, which is 80, and you could manage it for a lot less, depending on what structure the market presented. But these are the problems that you face whenever the market goes parabolic, is you really need a deeper pullback, because typically the pullbacks are deeper. Now, if we take this and start going into different instruments here you go. Let's take a look at a couple other things before we get out of here. Crude oil. What is crude oil doing? Nothing really. I mean, it's trading around Globex, and we do not like trading around Globex. But that is an inception trade long. You have channel number 1 established. Purchases right here has a stop literally one tick below Globex, and you're looking for target number 1, 78.81. You're looking for target number 2, 79.26, and the stop for that whole rotation is 77.91. Moving on from that into, let's take a look, since we have a little bit of time here. Anybody play around with Euro USD 6E? That market gave us a switch trade and shot up hard. So pull back into the middle of the range are viable with a one candle reversal and a higher low, and you're looking for that pullback to go back up to target number two. So that's the rotation we will be looking at. Very decent. I mean, it's not, if you say decent, it's just a little bit noisy here, but that's low backs. And then you got that move all long against it. When the market trades above glowbacks, you look at it from the perspective of a long signal. Look at this beauty. That's beautiful. Beautiful in the fact that it's very clean. Like NQ has its moments. I mean, I like it a lot. I mean, I make a lot of money trading NQ, but it's not as clean as YM. When YM trends, you see this behavior. It's not jaggedy. Like it's not all of a sudden they run it up and flip this. Like it takes on 8:30. Okay, from 8:30 to 9:30, 1 hour. It's just one trend. And obviously NQ was like that, but it doesn't test the top end of the cloud as much. It doesn't, go back and forth. It takes a direction, it holds it, and it runs. So for anybody starting off, that would be a good instrument for you to actually play around with that. I'm not a big, I like, I guess, ES from time to time, but that's just the personality of YM is such as that it does that. So the same thing when it came to the rotation higher, it took that one direction and never let up. It just continued to grind, pull back in a manageable way, and run up and run up and run up. So you could take a look here and you see flipped and sold off, came here, consolidate, ran up a little bit, came back down. Give us this captain setup switch trade that was a beauty. And look at these captain setups. Long, captain setup long, boom, captain setup long, boom, captain setup long, switch trade, boom. Then they flipped it, captain setup short, and with a switch trade, and phew. So just that rotation made a shitload of money. All right, so let's move on from that into what else do we got going on? Gold. Yeah, gold is, if you want to watch paint dry, that's the instrument you want to trade. But here you're looking at inception trade, short, and right here, that's the first test of the shift in the cloud, and the market sold off to target 2, came back, retested, and now it's in a consolidation. So not a lot of rotations. I mean, this is one day. All of this was one day. The whole thing here is one day. They're not giving you much of rotations, but that's the big picture. You could cut it down and go to 6 NT Rinko or 12 NT Rinko and get a little bit more, more signals. All right, so let's take the last picture here. RTY. Here we go. Russell 2000. So when I started trading futures, just a story here, I spent 2 years, I mean literally 2 years, trading nothing but Russell 2000. And I didn't even trade the future. I traded TNA, TZA, which is the leveraged ETFs on that. 2 years. Did nothing but buy and sell TNA and TZA till I got to where I start making my living off of it. Then Russell was getting very quiet and very rangy, and I was like, okay, well, I need to open up my repertoire of instruments that I'm good at, and I need to start looking at other instruments. So I started trading crude oil. And people thought you're crazy for trading crude oil because it was just really volatile. And there I spent about a year and a half just doing nothing but, Russell 2000 and actually started winding down my Russell and going into crude oil basically full time. Then I was like, all right, well, I need something. And then crude oil started to be very rangy. Like, the whole day is like 20, a point or less. I'm like, okay, that's just not going to make it for me. So then I just added NQ, and once I added NQ, that's when the real money started to come in. But so in Russell 2000, okay, so let's talk about that. Same kind of deal here. You draw your channels, and why you draw your channels? Because they give you the border and the structure of the market. So that's channel number one. Channel number two is done right here. That's channel number two. So what does that tell? It tells me that the structure in the market is long. Pullbacks are buyable, but to what extent are they buyable? They are buyable all the way to these levels right here. Okay, now if the market breaks down and go below this range here, which is 69, 68, then I have to be very careful about my longs. I mean, that would be a breakdown of that channel. They sometimes come back and retest it, but ultimately you want to tighten your stuff up. I mean, what you're looking for is this scenario right here. You're looking at a touch of that zone and a flip of a one candle reversal, an entry, which is a continuation trade at 69.20. In the case of this situation, I mean, we have to close first, then flip it. So most likely you're looking at a 70.7 entry, but we need the close first. And then you start looking for target number three. Target number three tests well. Then you're looking at target number, the middle of the range between 3 and 4. Then 4 is 77.8. An outlier event would be 82. And that would be the run-up in Russell. But that's the structure of that market. And you could see, they come up, test the middle of the range and fail, then come back and establish a new mode of operation. Here they put Captain Setup Switch Trade and paid you 3 candles before they reversed. Captain Setup Short, Captain Setup Switch Trade, and that failed, ran up a little bit and came back and tested. So that's kind of a little bit noisy. Let's see what else is out there. Captain Setup gave you 2 candles in your favor. You're getting multiple rotations. Look at that beauty right here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Look at that one. Flipped, gave us an inception trade, and it was continuation, trigger trade, continuation trade, trigger, 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 trigger trades all the way through this rotation. Broke it, came back, and just kept rotating. And those are where you make the big money on Russell. Because what you're doing is you retesting the strength of the longs right here in the middle of these rotations. And typically, if the longs are strong, they will put a pattern and they break above it. But obviously, any entry here has a stop of 1 candle, and you're looking for that run up, and it's just giving it to you every single time. Anyway, interesting. All right, guys, so that's it for me. And as far as the NQ is concerned, we're just gonna keep an eye on it, take some lunch, come back and trade away. You guys have a good day. Stay disciplined, stay focused, take your stops, smile and trade. Okay, and we'll see you tomorrow.